All right, foosball fans, another amazing edition of Sports and Tacos NFL Week 2 coming at you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen in TV land, YouTube, Sports and Tacos, Mondays, Thursdays, and Sunday Fun Day. Come join us, YouTube, Sports and Tacos.
All right, here we are again, football fans. Week 2 of super amazing NFL football. Your host, as usual, Spencer Cadigan. We got Tony. We got Bama. We're expecting, I'm assuming, G Unit is going to be, she texted. So, and yeah, I just say that because it is Chiefs at Jaguars today. So that's a huge game for her.
Yep, and I see it upset too there, my friend. It's going to be 0-2 for the Kansas City Chiefs. I like the Jaguars, and the Jaguars is getting 3.5 at home. Yes, that's correct. 3.5 all day long. Sorry, Chiefs.
Sounds like somebody else is on Sunshine. He's got Sunshine's poster on their wall today.
Well, I do have him in fantasy there, sir.
Yeah, I gotta say that as well, Spencer. I need to put a poster up too. He's my fantasy quarterback also.
Sunshine.
Somebody's wearing off on you guys. I think somebody. I think
you
guys.
Good Lord, no, you Kansas City Bronco fan.
I think you.
Just because it's the fantasy quarterback, don't mean he's going to go to the real Super Bowl.
I think some other people on Sports and Tacos are starting to drink the Trevor Lawrence Kool-Aid.
Hey, he's the first one to tell them that they're going to go to the playoffs.
All about the money.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. So we're expecting. I hope to have G Unit on. Having babies. I'm sure having babies is a lot of work. So, but I'm sure she wants to come on and talk about her Kansas City Chiefs. So, but anyways, we have a huge day of NFL football. There's a couple of real good games today. Even though there's, in my opinion, there's 2 big games. You do have some very interesting games as well. You had absolute thriller last night in college football. At least if you're a Colorado bias college fan, where CSU had a super shootout. I want to dive. Maybe we should just dive into that first, just because.
Let's do it.
Literally,
you know what's the funny part, Shotgun? Denver, Colorado, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, America. Denver, Colorado. Game didn't get done until almost 1 o'clock in the morning. 2 overtimes. CU Boulder. Oh my gosh, you had celebrities there from Lil Wayne, from The Rock.
Yeah,
can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Yes, we had a lot of action last night. That's why Daddy is a little bit tired. Yes, it was a great game. You got 2 rivalry teams where the first time they're playing at home against each other in years. Next year it'll be in CSU and Fort Collins, but this year it was in CU Boulder, and boy, that's why it was the game of the week, and they showed it.
Yeah, did you guys remember back? I was telling my buddy Danny at work because the line was CU was favored by 24.5 points in this game, and I was telling my buddy Danny at work out here in LA. I was like, dude, do not believe that line. Like, yeah, I think CU's probably going to win this game, but these guys are total rivals. And I was telling them, you guys remember back when they used to have this game at Mile High Stadium? And you remember that year? They literally, for what, about a decade there, they had this game at Mile High.
Yeah.
And that one year, like was my example to him of why don't take CU in the 24.5. Like it's such a big rivalry. You remember the year that they had the riot in the student section and they had to tear gas everybody? I was like, it's that kind of rivalry. Even though nobody thinks, of CSU is some kind of like football powerhouse, they are always going to get up to play CU, And if you remember, after that they outlawed alcohol sales at that game when in the following years at Mile High Stadium, and apparently they don't do it at Invesco or whatever the heck it's called these days. What's the stadium called these days? Does anybody know, or does anybody care?
Let's go.
Empower.
Empower. Yeah, Empower Field. Yeah.
Empower Mile High, but in my eyes,
still Mile High.
Mile High.
It's not empowering the Broncos to win more football games. That's for sure. God damn it. So, anyways, that was a hell of a game. I mean, Deion's kid, 348 yards. 4 touchdowns. Those are some pretty healthy stats.
Yeah, but you also forgot one thing, Shotgun. His other son that was on the defense, wearing number 21, did what his daddy used to do in college and in the pros. He scored an 80-yard touchdown interception.
Yep. Pick 6. He should have high-stepped it into the end zone. That's what I was waiting for. But basically,
yeah, that's a hell of a game. 2 overtimes. CU ended up winning 43-35. I'm just kind of checking the stats here.
There's a lot of cheapness too. It was a chippy game, man. From the get-go, they had a pre-game little scuffle before kickoff, with the two teams, and then once the kickoff started, man, they were hitting each other hard, and they were hitting each other not so right, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, it's rivals.
They had like 3 or 4 different sportsmanlike conducts, late hits. I didn't like, of course, Hunter, the two-way star, the guy who plays offense and defense, got put out of the game in like the second quarter, something like that, with a cheap hit. And he's going to be missing, 2 or 3 weeks of seeing at least, something like that.
Yeah. Again, I was telling my buddy Danny, I was like, it's like fighting your brother, like there's going to be eye gouging. There's probably going to be some biting.
But you also got to look at it the other thing too, brother. On both sidelines, they have 2 head coaches that are not too fond of each other. Yeah. And at the end, it showed it too when it was time to shake hands. But right. What's the funny part? He still wore his glasses. He still wore his hoodie. He still was Neon Deion. Prime time.
When you're in the middle of the dog pile, all of a sudden somebody just, junk punches you. You're like, it's not.
And you know what's the funny thing?
Game.
Snap a finger.
And at the end of the game, I was looking it up. The funny part was, he was selling those shades. He sold over $1 million in those glasses that he always wears. And, all donations goes to the Children's Foundation, which I thought that was really cool. Yeah. But he sold $1,050,000.
NIL, baby. We are in the age of NIL. Doesn't matter. Like, the press conference is just a live Instagram blast. That's all that it is. But Deion, man, he is, dude, I love it. I love it. The only thing I fear, and Colin Cowherd was talking about this on his show this week, is he's going to be so good so fast that CU only gets him for like a year or 2, and then he's off to the NFL. So it says CU, enjoy it while it lasts.
See you later.
how they ever got CU, I don't know. Because like I said, when they got him, like nothing about Boulder makes me think Deion Sanders, but it works, and he is the man. Sucked. I mean, I was at work last night, but last I saw it was 28-28. God, it's the kind of game I would like to go back and watch the replay, because it sounded like a hell of a game. Did you guys did you guys work, or were you able to get home and watch the whole game?
I was working through part of it, but it was kind of slow enough at that point where most everybody was paying attention. So yeah, pretty much had to watch it all. Yeah, heck yeah.
Me too. I was watching my Michigan Wolverines win once again with no coach. Of course, we played Bowling Green. It was 31-6. Granted, we still won. We're still number 2 in the nation. God bless America.
Always take Northern Michigan's playing in the points, because they ain't going to cover anything this year. They win games, though. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but yeah, they definitely are not a cover team, Michigan, this year.
Including when JJ throws 3 picks. But thank God for our defense that came through, and they styled and smiled. And Corm scored a couple touchdowns that were very, very important to us.
Styling, smiling, profiling. What do you guys? I mean, I want to just CU, so they were 18 in the country before this game. They'll probably move up whatever a few spots. On a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, dude, did anybody really think CU was going to be this good this fast? I mean, bro.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say no. I'm usually always saying that term, see you next year. Right now, they're 3 games up from last year of their winnings. They only won 1 all last year. Now they're up 3-0.
Okay.
But they are flying into Oregon to play some nasty little Ducks.
Yeah, things get real for CU. Their Pac-12 schedule begins. But I would say, oh my God, let's come back to earth. But that win against TCU, I mean, that was legit, 45-42. So let's real quick. Because the gauntlet, they got a gauntlet coming. They got Oregon, USC, Arizona
We'll be at
State,
that game.
Stanford, UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, Utah. Of those games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of those games are against ranked top 20 teams. So you're going to know quick if CU is legit. But I think they are legit. I don't know what the early line is on CU at Oregon.
17.5. I was looked at it last night. Last night it was 17.5 right after the game. Oregon's favorite 17.5.
Dude, I'm taking.
And I would still take Oregon and give the 17.5.
You
CU
think Oregon
might have a powerful offense. Their defense needs help.
But it seems like that's okay because they're hanging in these high score. It's okay if the game is high scoring and you win at the end.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to be able to hang with Oregon. That's like I say, that's the real test. Oregon and then USC back to back right there, man. Because of course they can score some points, but are they going to be able to score like 60 on Oregon? Because I feel like that's what it's going to take to beat Oregon.
Yeah, well, okay. I don't know anything about Oregon's defense, but it just seems like they can hang with anybody's offense right now. So that just leads me to believe, okay, I'm not saying CU is going to go in and beat Oregon, but I think, 17.5, that's pretty disrespectful, isn't it? That's a pretty disrespectful number.
It's a shotgun. It's a real number. As the Buffaloes are thinking right now, it's not rabbit season, it's duck season, but they're going into an area where there's a lot of ducks and they're mean. They're mean.
But I think that, okay, just for me, I think that hook, I like the hook. When in football, I always like the hook. That 0.5, they CU could go in, lose this game 36-20, and you still cover if it's 17.5, or 37-20. So give me CU in the points all day next week at Oregon. I don't know if they're going to go into Oregon and pull an upset, but
anything's possible nowadays, man.
I'm sorry, but TCU, Nebraska, I promise you, after last night's game, after what's going on with Deion Sanders and his kid, there is nobody that they don't honestly think they can beat. And I say this because next week, if they go in and they play good at Oregon, if they're really going to hit reality, it's going to be the week after that, because then they play USC at Boulder.
We'll be there.
Yep. We'll be at the game.
That's going to be a hell of a freaking game. I don't know. So give me CU in the points. I'm happy for CU. Bama, what do you think you'd be taking next week? CU at Oregon.
Like I say, it's hard to go against Colorado, man, the way they're playing right now. And I know what you're saying. 17 is a lot to give up, 17.5. But I don't see Colorado being able to keep up with Oregon. The way Oregon's been playing offensively, I think they're like Colorado on steroids in a sense, the way they put up points and move the ball right there. So,
well, sure, they got
to. As right now, I would take. I'd give up to 17.5. Go with Oregon, but
you take Oregon in the second.
Probably not smart.
17.5 though. That's a big ass number, man. If it was 10.5, I would agree. Maybe even if it was like 13.5. I would agree.
I would say Colorado pretty much got outplayed by Colorado State for a good 3 quarters for most of that game last night. I mean,
I guess that's true, but again, it's
pick six was one of the touchdowns, and other than that, yeah, Colorado State was up 11 points in the fourth quarter.
But,
I mean, yeah,
but again, it's like fighting your little brother. You know, he's gonna gouge you in the eye. He's gonna bite you. He's gonna junk punch you when nobody's watching.
Yeah, CSU can put up big plays on Colorado. Oregon's going to put up a lot of big plays on Colorado, I feel like. And I know Colorado's going to put some plays up as well, but I just don't know if that's going to be enough to keep up with Oregon. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Oregon's too fast on the get-go shotgun. By the way, hi, G-Unit.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
Happy morning. We're talking about this long last night in Denver, Colorado, and CU Boulder, where it was 2 overtimes. And the game was damn near over by 1 o'clock in the morning. A college football game.
A really good one.
It was good, you know. And you know what? CSU stepped up to the plate. They spoke to the gods, and the gods said, not this year. But you know what? We're talking about Oregon, where CU Buffaloes are going to fly into the mighty, mighty Ducks Stadium. And they're thinking they're going to show something that CU hasn't done in a while and win on the road and win big. I just don't see that happening this time around.
Dang, what a party in Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. CSU went into 2 overtimes last night, and CU ended up winning. So, I don't know. You know kind of what's going on at CU and Deion Sanders and all that stuff, G-Unit?
Well, we talked about it last season, didn't we?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is what's going on basically. So they got Deion Sanders as their head coach. Nobody thought. I mean, that was so out of left field. It's like because CU is such, you know, like a kind of liberal-ish, Boulder, hippie town. Yeah. They don't really, at least for the last 20 years, they haven't really cared about their football team, and they somehow landed Neon Deion Sanders, this absolute rock star, Hall of Fame NFL player, to be their coach. And they are literally, he came in, just crushed the transfer portals, all the NIL, played the game, and they instantly have gone from one of the worst teams in college football, like worst,
to the best,
to one of the best. And
overnight.
Literally, well, at least basically overnight.
It's because he was an all-star football player. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's Neon Deion. He's a motivator, all these things. But so now all of a sudden, you know, they're one of the top. They're probably going to be top 15 after last night's game. And then they go to Oregon, and then USC comes to Folsom Field and Boulder the following week. So we're just saying basically you're really going to know in the next couple weeks if CU is for real. And, you know, and we're just talking about the betting lines and all that kind of stuff. Because even though they are where they are, they're still saying that they're 17.5-point underdogs against Oregon next week, which is a pretty, you know, to me, a pretty disrespectful line. That's Vegas saying, you know, they're not legit.
Suck. Yeah.
Even though all this great stuff has happened, you guys, you know, you're about to hit a reality brick wall when you go to Oregon. But I don't know. I would take CU in the points. That's all.
I'm gonna watch this game.
Yes, but you know, we're talking about CU, how great they are. You know, they're overnight, you know, superstar celebrities and this and that. But you know what? The thing is, basically, we got to get back to reality. They need a defense. They definitely need a defense. Their offense is pretty stacked. They need a defense, and they got to stop doing the penalties. And then on top of it, in the next 2 Saturdays, at the ending of that Saturday night, I see a CU Buffalo team being 3-2, welcoming to reality.
Wow.
Yep. All right. Well, cool, guys. It is Sunday morning, week 2, NFL.
Are you ready for some football?
Are you ready for some football?
Some better football, hopefully, than last week.
Well, you know, let's get crazy. Let's talk about some morning ball shotgun. Open the doors. Just open them.
Okay,
because you know what? I got some things I got to say.
Okay, well, first of all, let's just start here. I want to know, for everybody watching, because this is NFL season, what is Big Daddy's pick of the week? Bet the farm. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. absolutely lock it up. Lead pipe lock of the week, Tony.
Mine is easy. It's the first game on television this morning at 11 o'clock Denver time, Colorado time. Las Vegas going to the Buffalo Bills. I will take the Buffalo Bills and give the 7.5 all day long. Bills are pretty mad right now, including after what happened last week. There's going to be changes. Doors are opening. Houses are going to explode. Vegas, you're going to lose your money this time. And you're not going to be playing a 1-point game against these guys.
Well, okay, just so the whole world knows. Actually, I have a feeling because that game is 7, and now it's, I don't know what it opened at. It's went to 7.5. When the favorite, you're probably right. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't see anybody taking the Bill or the Raiders in that game. But I guess for the
only Raiders
world knows, like when the favored team covers, that is usually bad for Vegas because when the underdogs cover, that's usually good for Vegas. Just so I mean, they make their money.
Yeah, but you're playing Vegas. Yeah. But at the same time, you got to think about it, brother. The Vegas Raiders came to Denver, Colorado, and they had to play a little comeback just to win by 1 point. Where on Monday Night Football, it was a big Jets versus the Bills.
You just brought up a reason why I think I would maybe go the other way on this game. You got New York involved. You got Vegas involved. I think I'm taking the Raiders plus 7.5, and there's going to be some very questionable referee calls in this game. I'm just saying. If there is a game, listen, if there is a game Guido might be involved in, it's New York and Vegas all tied as 1. I'm just saying, if you see some questionable referee calls in this game, just saying.
I say the Raiders are going to lose by 2 touchdowns. I think Josh Allen's going to have a breakout game because last week for Monday Night Football, when he didn't play an Aaron Rodgers because he was out for 3, he only played 3 plays, and then all of a sudden he tore his Achilles. But at the same time, they had backup Wilson that did a pretty good job. But then if you think about it, this game should have been a blowout that Monday night. But when you have a quarterback, all-pro quarterback, throw 3 touchdowns and a fumble, there's going to be problems.
Well, still though, why I mean, we could go back to that game for a second. Like, how it looked like the Bills were just going to run away with that game, and then are the Bills not that good, or was that fluky? I mean,
it was
a second string quarterback come in and bring them back against the Bills. I mean, or actually, a buddy of mine had a really good point, and that is. The Jets defense is a lot better than is as good as we thought they would be.
And the Jets
really was on the Jets defense. If you think about it.
And then they had a lot of people come back from injury that showed up too. But when you have the main brain for the Buffalo Bills doing what he did, of course you're not going to be scoring. You can't score when your quarterback's throwing picks or fumbling the ball or can't even get to the ball because he's got pressure too much. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there, brother.
That's your pick of the day out of all the games in the NFL.
Well, the other one, you want my upset pick?
Well,
here's my upset pick. I'm sorry, G-Unit.
Trevor Lawrence.
Somebody's drinking the Kool-Aid.
Sunshine, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Really?
Yep, and I'm getting 3.5 points, and they're at home. And man, nobody's hurt on that team. And they got some guy Riddle that finally got to perform because he couldn't play last year. And he looked really good. You got a great running back. You got a couple great wide receivers, and you got Goldilocks out there, man. Yeah. You got Sunshine.
You do.
And
Those would be your two lead pipe lock it up championship.
Those are for the morning. But for my afternoon, I chose 2 games. Of course, I'm being a homer. I'm giving the 4, and I'm taking my Broncos. But the one I do like, and I know they're going to perform, New York flying into Arizona. Yes, I'm giving the 4 points because I think the Giants have something to prove now. They got the team for it. They have a good team. It's just, you know what? 40-0. They made the Cowboys look like Cowboys of the old. And, I'm sorry. I wasn't impressed. I think the Giants are going to come out this afternoon and win.
I think so too.
There was nothing to be impressed by. It was 40-0. But anyways, okay, so let's back it up. Bama, Bills are favored by. I want voice of reason. Bills are favored by 7.5. Honestly, I think that on a scale of 1 to 10, that's a solid 8.5 bet. That could happen, but again, I'm going to go ahead and take Vegas plus the 7.5.
Of course you will.
But just because of now that, like you said, that the Guido factor, sports gambling is legal all over the place nowadays. I'm just saying, just something about that smells like Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes. I'm just saying. You got New York, you got Vegas. So I'm going to take the Raiders plus the 7.5. And this, I bet it's going to be 28-21 Raiders or Bills. And that half point get you the winner chicken dinner. What do you think, Bama?
No, disagree completely with you there, Mr. Shotgun. It's going to be Buffalo all day on that one, man.
Yeah.
Opposite what you're saying, yeah, it's they're pissed off, man, from last week. They're so pissed off after last week right there. And they've got a much better team than the Raiders do to come in pissed off at.
Yeah.
I mean, the Raiders almost got beat by the Broncos last week. They made Russell Wilson look like the Russell Wilson from 4 years ago there for the first half, and then they did kind of mess him up in the second.
Yeah,
but
then reality set in.
Yeah, Josh Allen's going to come out. Stephon Diggs, those guys are going to be so pissed off about losing that game last Monday night. I don't see them not having any trouble covering the 7.5 on that.
Got it. What do you, G-Unit, you think, Bills, Raiders, you think, what are your thoughts?
Bills.
Do you have anything?
I think the Raiders didn't look very good last week. I was hoping that the Broncos would pull through. And
see, I understand that the Raiders.
Thank you, G-Unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what you don't understand is they still came out with a win.
Yes, they did.
Doesn't matter if you win by a point or 30 points. A win is a win, and that Raiders team is going to be a little bit excited.
Excited only gets you so much, though.
And it would be a little different, too, if it was December or January. It's still going to be pretty nice weather in Buffalo today. So, but you're right. The Bills, if they're not pissed off now and motivated, then they're probably never going to be pissed off.
Shotgun, my predictions will be 35-14 Buffalo Bills. And Josh Allen will have 1 touchdown run in and a couple in the air, and then they're going to go with the running attack.
Got it. Okay, so let's move on to the next one of the other early games of the day. This is another one of this would probably be my second game of the day. You got the Bengals, or you got Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati, same thing. You would think they're going to be pissed off after last week. They're going to be motivated.
That was
but it's 3.5. I'm taking Baltimore all day in this.
That hook.
Hook. I mean,
they did not look good last week either.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I tell you, they should be pissed off, Cincinnati, because I mean they played like crap, just like like we're talking Bills did. But then it goes to the thing other. Baltimore's a better team than the Raiders, I think. So that whole little factor there is not going to play into account right there. Plus, Baltimore always plays Joe Burrow and Cincinnati really tough, man. I mean, if you remember last year, we almost beat them in the
playoffs.
Yeah, playoff game with the backup quarterback right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Baltimore's going to come in there and play. I hope Joe Burrow doesn't have as bad of a game as last week because he is my other fantasy quarterback, Mr. Joe Burrow. But don't get a win on me today.
Yeah. I'm taking Baltimore now. I'm trying to think here. If this was 2.5, not 3.5, I might go the other way because I could see this being a 2017. Since 2017, like either way, I think Cincinnati will probably have a little bounce back. I think Cincinnati wins something like 20-17, but that 3.5, that hook, I think was going to be what makes you the money on the Ravens today. What are your thoughts, Big Daddy?
I like what all y'all are saying, but one catch. The Ravens proved something last week where they have this rookie kid from Florida, Flowers. Man, boy, that kid can catch. You know, another catch too is Odell Beckham. He didn't really show up to the plate, you know, for his debut for wearing a Baltimore jersey. I think he's going to show up today. I think if he's going to be getting more coverage, I could see Flowers getting all the big catches. And then minus, you know, unfortunately, they don't have their tight end, Mark Andrews.
Well, he's supposed to be playing it.
Hey, come on, let's talk. All right. But at the same time, you got the kicker, you know, and then you got Cincinnati, and they're in Cincinnati, and you got to go home field advantage on this. But Burrows did impress me last week. Mixon was trying to pick it up. Chase was getting double coverage. Higbee, they have a team. But you know what? I think the Ravens are better. I think the Ravens, the score will be 28-26, Baltimore Ravens.
What do you think, G-Unit?
Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to be good this year. Yeah, and the Bengals just didn't look very good. I don't know. They got some work to do.
Yeah, they do. They didn't look very good last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the Ravens to cover. I don't think it would be different if it was in Baltimore, but because it's in Cincinnati, I just Cincinnati wins, but Baltimore covers.
But shotgun, you know, another thing about this little thing that I wasn't disappointed in the game because you know what? They did play the Cleveland Browns, and Cleveland Browns came to play. Man, their wide receivers, they were on. Deshaun was on. Chubb was on. Their defense was playing a game where
their defense is what was on.
They were killing. Oh man, when he was running that ball, he was making plays, brother. He was getting, instead of 2nd and 6, he was getting 1st and 10 because he was running the ball. Plus, he had Chubb in the backfield, yeah. And then you got Cooper. Yeah. You got Cooper thrown to it. They got some talent. So I'm not necessarily knocking on the Cleveland Browns. They showed up, they played, they won the game. But Cincinnati was just a little bit disappointing because
they scored 3 points.
Everybody's screaming MVP for Mr. Burrows. Everybody's saying Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, he's for surely a top 5 type quarterback, and top 5 tier quarterbacks don't usually come out and get beat 24-3 in the homeowner. But you know, crazy things happen.
Yeah, he was hurt all preseason too, pretty much. So he didn't hardly get any. I played no preseason games. I'm sure his reps were down a lot too. So he was trying to get over the calf injury to get ready for week 1. So he showed some rust, man. He definitely showed rust.
There was rust, but I'm not believing that the Bengals are going to stay down for too long. But
no, man, no.
Okay, so I want to another game here. That I think that this might be my pick of the day. And that is Green Bay at Atlanta. Atlanta's favored by 3. I think Green Bay wins this game all day because I all of a sudden am a believer in Jordan Love, dude. 15 of 27, 245, and 3 touchdowns last week against. Now, don't get me wrong, it's the Bears, but still, those are NFL numbers right there. So I think Green Bay actually has its next quarterback. So, I don't see why you would necessarily just assume the Falcons are a 3-point favorite in this game. What are your guys' thoughts? Let's start here. Jordan Love, do you believe that, because like we were talking about last week, that was a game where both quarterbacks have something to prove, and Fields didn't prove it. Jordan Love did. So Jordan Love seems legit. What do you think, Bama?
He looked legit last week, but he was also playing the Chicago Bears. I'm not gonna, and this week he's playing the Falcons, so I'm not gonna say that's another good judge on saying whether or not he's legit or not. He played really well. He did. Cass Ryan did too. He's going to be hurt today though because there's no Aaron Jones, and Jones had a really big part in that game last week.
Yeah,
I do see what you're saying. No, I do see them going into Atlanta and getting a win. I could see them. Yeah,
it would be different if those numbers were like. Okay, 15 to 27, that's not bad. you know, but the 3 touchdowns is what really stands out there. 245, that's pretty average, you know. But that was his. I don't know if that was his first ever start, but it was his first start where he is now he's at the helm of the Packers ship. 15 of 27, 245, 3 touchdowns. That's pretty poised. So what are your thoughts, Tony? Jordan Love, is he for real or not?
Well, you know, what's kind of funny about this, everybody that's sitting right here and watching, hey, America, last week I called it. The only one that took Green Bay while everybody else took Chicago and Justin Fields. You know, that's kind of funny. You know, rewind. Shotgun, rewind. Because guess what? I called it. But now this time, they're a little bit banged up. Dubs is hurt, and then also Aaron Jones is hurt. They're going into a young Atlanta stadium right now, where on top of it, they got a nice tight end called Pitts that's actually going to be doing a great job for him. They got a young running back, young quarterback, wide receiver core. Hey, I like London. Give him a chance. Watch what he could do. This time around.
Who's Falcons quarterback right now?
The rookie from last. Jesus Christ, man. Not Spencer Rattler. Crap. He came out in the Florida dude from like a couple of years ago, I think. If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you. I've been talking about all week saying, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
Maybe I just don't know enough about like the Falcons.
24, they're really young.
They beat the Panthers 24-10 last week. And let's see, their quarterback, Ritter.
Yeah, that's it. Spencer Ritter. Yeah, I was trying. Yeah.
D. Ritter. Hold on a second. Who is this guy? Desmond Ritter.
Oh, Desmond Ritter. So, yeah.
Was their quarterback. Yeah, and see, 15 of 18, 115 yards passing, and 1 touchdown. But it looks like they ran the ball good. And they ran the ball good. Like,
all
this game looks like it was just a trash game.
Yeah. I take Atlanta in this one, and at 3.5, that makes me laugh. I see them scoring at least maybe 10 points.
Total? Total or winning by 10?
They're going to win by 10. Sorry, America.
I was like, I'm sorry. I completely disagree. I look at those quarterback stats. Give me the Packers all day in this game. Jordan Love, he looks like he's legit.
Even with Jones, AJ Dillon will be enough to keep the slack up going out. Yeah,
All right.
Atlanta's got a strong little defense. Look what they did last week.
Yeah, well, they must because they only gave up 10 points. I don't know if you have paid any attention to it. G Unit, Jordan Love, the new Packers.
I haven't really paid attention to Jordan Love, but I think Green Bay is going to go. They're going to be good this year. So Green Bay all the way.
I just look at it as, what's in a name? That's a cool quarterback name.
There you go. Jordan Love. Everyone loves Jordan Love.
Everybody likes the sack, Mr. Love.
All right. So where were we at here? Okay. Let's take a quick break and then we'll dive into depth on the Chiefs and the Jaguars.
Sunshine.
Definitely, at least for me, game of the day. For me, I think it could quite possibly be the preview of the AFC Championship game. So we'll take a quick break. We'll give some shout outs. And we'll be back in just a second to go over the game of the week.
Okay.
All right, this is Sports and Tacos. We got freaks out there. We got 4 of them. We got 5 of them. We got special guests. We got a man in the shower. We got a brainiac. We got a guy that looks like he's supposed to be on Sports Center. And then you got me. It's all about the TMP, Sports and Tacos.
Perfect. Who are the guys at Sports and Tacos? We're a bunch of sports experts who work together in a huge sports bar forever. And we know more sports than anybody in this entire world because we put our money where our mouth is.
All about having some fun, a little bit of sports knowledge from 3, 4, 5, 6 different folks, depending on the night. Let you know about what happened that day in sports. We'll get to it. Check us out. Sports and Tacos at YouTube.
Perfect.
All right, ladies and gentlemen in TV land, YouTube, Sports and Tacos, Mondays, Thursdays, and Sunday Fun Day. Come join us, YouTube, Sports and Tacos.
Sports and Tacos. All right. Let me give some shout outs real quick. G-Unit, Blast on Church's Amazing Smoke Lab Vodka.
Church's Smoke Lab Vodka. It's a vodka from Punjab, India, made with basmati rice and pure Himalayan spring water. You can now purchase it in the big liquor stores all over California. And I'm trying to get it in Colorado. But anyways, it makes an awesome espresso martini. You've got the original vodka, and then you have the aniseed vodka, which is the black bottle. Awesome vodka.
Sweet. Cool. We'll give a shout out to Bill Hammond over at Hammond Entertainment. Bill puts on all kinds of events, some of the coolest celebrity golf tournaments in the entire world. So I'll give a thanks to Bill. Hope to have him on soon, maybe with Greg Vaughn to chat some 49ers football. Let's see, Dan Wolken over at Memory Lane. I hope to have Dan back on the show here soon. I think he said sometime in the second half of September. Dan was on like 50 episodes of Pawn Stars. Have him come on and talk sports memorabilia with us. Also hope to have Megan Johnson and Doug Plank back on the show soon. Doug was a superstar, I believe, free safety for the Chicago Bears for a long time. Ray Panetto. Hope to have Ray back on. Pro Signatures memorabilia. They got the coolest sports memorabilia in all the land. And, of course, always Mr. Paul Pratt and his Noah water, super electrolyte injected, hydrating, thirst-quenching, amazing Noah water. And Paul's also an ex-Detroit Lion. And we love having Paul on the show and getting his input about professional foosball. So there's that. All right. Game of the day. Chiefs at Jags. Potentially, in my opinion, the preview of an AFC championship game. So let's start with the quarterbacks on a scale of 1 to 10. Patrick Mahomes is an 11. I think that Trevor Lawrence is quickly becoming a 9. Where do you, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put Sunshine, Bama? Scale of 1 to 10.
1 to 10. I'm gonna give. I give him a good 7.5.
You son.
Yeah.
Tony, 1 to 10. Goldilocks. What do you put Goldilocks on a scale
I'll
of
give
1
him
to 10?
I'll give him a 7 for right now.
Yeah, well,
He's got a lot of talent on that team, and they're gonna make him shine like sunshine.
Okay.
7.
I know I might be a little biased, G-Unit, but I promise after the end of the day today, you're going to know who, well, you guys watched him in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence. What are your thoughts on?
I like watching Trevor Lawrence. I think he's really good. I think he's really good too. He's going to play well this season. Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
Laser rocket arm.
Yes.
So,
I think he's really good.
I think it'd probably be unanimous who we give the edge at quarterback because you got GOAT Jr. But I think you have GOAT Jr. versus Elway Jr. So I think it's Kelsey's back today, right?
Yep.
Chiefs are firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
The only X factor there, I think, is, and I've seen this many times over the years with the Patriots, the Broncos, just basically anybody who goes to play football early in the season in Florida that is not used to that humidity, you see them struggle sometimes, Yeah. So I honestly think that might be one of the biggest factors in this game. for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's just, I'm sure it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. You got you're out there for 3 freaking hours running around like crazy. So I think obviously the Chiefs might have a little edge at quarterback, but not by much. Not by much. Running backs. I honestly, that kid guy, how do you say his name? Etienne?
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, he had a decent game last week. 18 carries, almost 80 yards, had a touchdown. So the Jags do have a running game. Tony and Bama, who do you give the edge to in the running game?
Hands down, Jacksonville. I feel like, with Travis Etienne and them, yeah. Not taking away from Pacheco, and
I was going to say Pacheco, the Chiefs.
But no, yeah. It is kind of crazy though. Once you get past, in my mind, once you get past the quarterback and the tight end, Jacksonville's a much better team on paper.
Yeah. Tony, your thoughts? Running back. Okay, no, sorry, Tony. Quarterback and then running backs. Trevor Lawrence. Let's say, I mean, obviously Mahomes is insane. He just is. But at times he does look pedestrian, like he did last week.
I disagree.
But he didn't have Travis Kelce.
I disagree with you.
What is your disagreement, Big Daddy?
All right, if we're going to start first, we're going to go with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And from 1 to 10, after last week's performance, without having Travis Kelce, Mahomes is just a normal quarterback.
No, they had that game won if Tony doesn't drop the ball twice. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
He was, he made a couple good plays. Don't get me wrong. Mahomes is Mahomes. He's awesome. But at the same time, Travis Kelce shows why Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce. If they had Travis Kelce last week, they would have won the game. But you know what? When you had Tony not catching the ball right, he wasn't even catching the ball or running the ball right. Pacheco, come on, man. He should have done better. Hyde should have done better. The only ones that actually performed was the backup tight ends that looked good.
Yeah.
And you know who made them look good? The tight ends. It wasn't Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was running for his life. That's why when you say he's ranked 11, no. Last week I put him at a 6 or a 5. That's how much Travis Kelce means to the Kansas City Chiefs. And without having him, they don't have much.
Yeah.
They got a very young team. They have a very good team. Don't get me wrong. Kansas City Chiefs, there's a reason why they got an MVP, a Super Bowl MVP, a couple championships under this guy. Plus, they got a great coach. But at the same time, when you can't pass to your star, things happen, and it did last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's last week.
And then let's talk about Trevor. Let's talk about Sunshine, Mr. Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has a team too, an up-and-coming team where Etienne. We're talking about running backs now. What a great guy. For as little as he is, that boy's got some speed. He's got some gumbo. But at the same time, you got 3 different running backs on the Chiefs side. Right now, my edge for the running backs would be going to KC because of the talent that they have. Plus, plus Hyde's back, Mr. LSU. You got Pacheco. You have a talented team. It's just right now, quarterbacks, Jacksonville, running backs, Kansas City. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
G Unit. Your bias, I know, but put your bias.
It's going to be a really good game. We're playing in Jacksonville, so I think what you just said about the humidity, it's going to be a tough game. It's Patty Mahomes' birthday today. He's 28 years old.
That's a factor.
Yes.
I know. I was just reading about it earlier. They're mad about last week. They got Travis Kelce back. They're going to play Sky Moore, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's going to do good. Jerick McKinnon. They have Travis Kelce back too. I think we're going to look good. We're going to look good today.
Yeah, I wish I'd have known it was Mahomes' birthday. I wouldn't have took Jacksonville in the pick'em pool because he ain't going to lose on his birthday. Jeez.
Right? He's not going to lose on his birthday. So
I don't think
Lawrence is going to blow out his candles.
I don't necessarily. Okay, I mean, I would not be in any way surprised if Jacksonville does win this game today. But if they do lose, I just like the 3.5 in Jacksonville. I see this being 30, 27, 28, 25. Just so that hook. I see if Kansas City wins, I think it's by a field goal. I think it's a really good game, and Kansas City wins maybe by a field goal, and that half point saves, people who are taking Jacksonville. I don't. Jacksonville's good, and their defense is definitely, in my opinion, way better than the Chiefs. So when you factor in the defense and that humidity, because they practice in that stuff every day.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Chiefs doing well the first half of this game. It always seems like these games down in South Florida, by the second half of that game, going into the fourth quarter, is when they start to cramp up. You start to see them like eating lots of bananas. Just because they're not used to it, and it's still hot there. Again, it would probably be different if this game was in December down there, but it's still, I assume it's still pretty hot down there. And if it's like 85 or 90 degrees with like 80 or 90% humidity, that's nothing like Kansas City. That's a totally different thing. I know that they practice and they try and get used to it, but after, by the fourth quarter, Kansas City's legs might be a little weird. And if you look at it, like even during the entire Patriots dynasty, they never seemed to play very well two places, in Florida and in Denver. Like even when they were winning, 20 years worth of Super Bowls and stuff. So you could be the greatest team in the world and go to Miami or Jacksonville and lose in the heat and humidity. So
we beat them last year there.
Was it?
That's 27-17 in Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville, so they're not scared. And
yeah,
there is no real replacement for talent. I want to believe, So G Unit, I assume you're taking your Chiefs.
Yeah,
Tony, who was your pick in this game?
Dang.
Mine's Jacksonville and the points. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be 24-17, Jacksonville.
Bama, what you got?
Yeah, as much as I really hate to go against Mahomes on his birthday, I just see Jacksonville with more talent right now, it seems like. I mean, from top to bottom. And I don't know if Mahomes and Kelsey's going to be enough to get it done by themselves today. So I'm going to go Jacksonville in a close one. I'll say 24-21, something like that.
I like 24-21 Chiefs or something to that effect. 2017 Chiefs, maybe 28, like I said, 25, 30-27 Chiefs. What's your predicted score, G Unit?
I think it's going to be a lower scoring game because both defenses are looking good. Chiefs defense was looking good last week, although we lost. But I'm going to go, 24-21 Chiefs. I think we're going to win by a field goal.
And Chris Jones is back too for the Chiefs. So after they got beat last week, they made a quick signing to get him signed and no more holdouts. So they do have the top defensive guy back also this week.
Yeah, but then so we'll keep this short. Looks like games kick off in about 5 minutes. Another what seemingly seems like a decent game. Just give me your picks on Cleveland is actually favored by 2 points at Steelers. I kind of like the Steelers in a bounce back game there. What are your thoughts, Bama? Steelers.
I think
Steelers
are. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Cleveland showed that they can shut down a quarterback. So I still see them shutting down Kenny Pickett for the most part today. Nick Chubb's going to be the answer to that game, I believe, once again. They're going to just run and ground and pound on them right there, kind of like what San Francisco did last week.
Tony,
give me Browns all day.
Browns are favored by 2 at Pittsburgh. What do you like, Tony?
Pittsburgh's still too young. I got Cleveland. You got a guy that, was out for a whole season, and he finally got to do his debut with his team as a starting quarterback. I go Cleveland and the points.
Okay, another decent-ish game I saw. Honestly, well, there's actually a couple of them. San Francisco at the Rams. Obviously, San Francisco is favored by 7. The Rams actually played better than I thought, though. Cooper Kupp is back. Do you think San Francisco easily covers that 7?
Nope.
I don't know if it's easily. It's at Los Angeles.
It's a home dog getting 7 points at home against a team that's still got one of the better defenses out there in the Rams. I mean, if Matt Stafford can play like he did last week, and
he's got Cooper Kupp. He's got Cooper Kupp back. So
Cooper is back today. Well,
yeah, at least that's what I heard. I heard Cooper Kupp was back.
That should keep him within a touchdown for sure. But yeah.
What are your thoughts on that game, Tony? Take the Niners all day, or?
I'll take Niners all day and give the 7 points. I think they're going to cover it pretty easily. They got a good, 49ers still has a great defense, and Purdy didn't look pretty last week, but he got the job done. You got Christian McCaffrey. He did throw a couple touchdowns to Ayuk, and then they also still have Debo Sanders. Debo! They still have him too, and he was quiet last week. So I see action happening. I think a couple touchdowns for the good old 49ers.
So, that, like you say that, they went into Pittsburgh with Purdy and crushed. I thought that was going to be one of the closest games of the week, and it wasn't that close.
Yeah.
But damn. I got to take the Rams plus the 7. Again, you have you're basically fighting your little brother here. I'm going with I'm just taking, it's a big number for the Rams on the road. It's probably a stupid bet if I were to do that, but give me the Rams plus the 7. That's a pretty big number for a home dog that's kind of getting its team and its stars back. Cooper Kupp's a beast. I mean, he's only 2 years removed from winning the Super Bowl. So, And I guess this, after last week, everybody, I assume, is on the Purdy bandwagon.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Because this might be the kind of game where he is facing a pretty great quarterback, and he might have, I don't know. The Niners are good, but I don't know if Brock Purdy is. If you put Brock Purdy on a not good team, would he make that team better, or is this team around him making him look amazing?
What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Because I always think back to like a John Elway in the 80s. He had nobody, dude. And he took that team to Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. Okay? So if Brock Purdy didn't have this all-star team around him, if he had a normal team, say Brock Purdy was on Tampa Bay, would they be doing anything? Would we even be talking about Brock Purdy? That's the question. And I think we find out a lot more to the answer, like in games like today. If they go in there and Brock Purdy throws for 320 yards and 3 touchdowns and, has another statement game, then yeah, I think the answer is yes. And then Shanahan really has found his quarterback. And maybe there's a reason he didn't call Tom Brady to come out of retirement, because he didn't need to. So.
Yeah, but you're getting like what you said, if you put Purdy on a bad team, what's going to happen? Is he going to perform? He's going to be like that. But let's say that with Patrick Mahomes, the birthday boy. If that was the case too, last week, Mahomes looked normal.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you put Patrick Mahomes on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think he instantly makes them a playoff team. Great, all-time great talent.
But you're also seeing Tampa Bay. They still have great talent on that field.
I'm just using them as an example. If you put him on a sucky-ass team, he's going to make them a playoff contender anyways. Brock Purdy, I can't say the same thing for a Brock Purdy. Is he just managing the games, or is he going to – because at some point he's probably going to have to put the team on his back like Patrick Mahomes, the great ones always do. John Elway, Tom Brady. When the chips are down, we're sooner or later going to find out if Purdy is that guy, So, because there's going to be games where they're getting shut down, and great players don't always play great. They just play great when they have to. So we'll find out. And this could be one of those type of games. And I think it could be close. I think this could be a 24-21 type game where San Francisco doesn't automatically cover that 7 points at SoFi. And then just to touch on the last game of the day, because it is interesting to me. a seemingly much improved Seattle team goes to Detroit. What are your thoughts on that game, Tony? I think Detroit is favored by like 4 or 4.5. And Detroit's going to be high. They're riding the high.
At home.
Yeah. Who are you taking in that game?
All day Lions.
Lions all day. Do you think Seattle's not?
No, Seattle has a great team. They got Kenny Walker III. You got Tyler Lockett. You got Decaf, and then you got an older Geno Smith in that backfield too. But at the same time, man, I like Seattle, but this time I'm gonna have to go to the edge on Detroit. I think it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be within 7 points.
Yeah, I wonder if last year for Geno Smith was just, I don't want to say a fluke, but like a career year. Because, man, he sure looked like the Geno Smith of old last week.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Yeah, Geno.
He was 16 of 26 for 112 yards passing. Like, that's the Geno Smith that has been bouncing around the NFL for the last, decade?
Yeah, that's the Geno we had at Baltimore for a season or whatever it was.
Yeah, so... But they do have all the Denver Broncos, draft picks. That team has to be much improved just from having all the Broncos draft picks for the last 2 years.
But letdown game though for Detroit, coming off the big emotional win last week versus the Chiefs right there. I mean, I kind of see this being a trap game for Detroit if they don't watch out.
Could be. So Tony, you're taking the 4.5. I think I would take. I'm taking the Seahawks plus the 4.5. And what are your thoughts, Alex?
Well, they're not putting the Chiefs game on my TV. So I'm gonna have to go somewhere to watch this game.
All right. Well, cool. That's I'm sorry, G Unit. Go to what's your sister? I forget the one.
Oh,
place.
Belmont. It's
Belmont.
in West Hollywood though, so I got to find a place around here in our area.
I don't know, like right around here. There's got to be something on Riverside that's open, right?
Yeah, Mrs.
Robinson's.
Foreman's. Yeah, they've got. Yeah.
They do early football. I was thinking Robinson's. Maybe that's close, right?
Yeah.
But I just don't know if they're open yet.
I don't think so either.
In LA, here's another just time factor.
Yeah.
Like in Denver, they make sure they're open in time for football, but it's 10 a.m. in LA and nobody cares.
Nope.
So like
they don't open until noon.
You might have to go to a diner and sit at the bar at a diner and hope they have a TV on.
Yeah, it's true.
Game.
Hey man, I bet you guys have a Denny's out there.
We do.
No.
Turn on that TV.
Grand Slam.
Bacon, eggs, Chiefs.
Bacon, eggs, Chiefs.
Jaguars. Okay, guys. Well, cool. Everybody enjoy your NFL day. And Tony's lock of the week is the Bills, -7.5. Am I correct?
Yep.
Okay, got it. All right, dudes. Tomorrow night, we're gonna try and have a good big show tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. LA time,
7:30
Denver time. And that's that. So everybody enjoy their football. All I can say is
go Broncos.
Go
Emma, good luck. I'm beating you in fantasy. I'm gonna beat you in fantasy
too. No. Spencer, did you set Elliot? You're not playing.
All right, guys. What? No.
Did you set your lineup?
Yeah, you guys would hate me. No, you guys would hate me if I did. Put it that way. So, all right, bye, guys. Everybody have a good day.
Go Chiefs. Bye, guys.
Bye.